Aloha! Welcome to episode 13 of my Sacred Healing Support series. Uh, Usually in the sequence is philosophy, practice, and then personal, but personal is wanting to come through now. So I'm going to share personal. Oh, right, I forgot I have to shut down a bunch of stuff, otherwise the video quality. So, as I'm doing that, let me see. So I had an accident recently, a bike accident. I fell off a bike and did a massive crash and roll and have major scrapes and cuts and bruises all from ankle to neck. So I'm have been in a fair amount of pain from ankle to neck, but amazingly enough, I've maintained a really great spirit. Like, my spirit feels great. I've a positive outlook. I haven't collapsed under the pain. I haven't been really upset. I did cry this morning briefly when I had a just kind of felt a little um, yeah. But last night when I was lying in bed and feeling whoa, the kind of just got present to how much I ached, how much I ached from my ankle to my neck. And I was like, this feels familiar. Oh my goodness, this is how I used to feel most of the time in my life. Not from an accident, but just living. I had immense pain in my hip. I had immense pain in my shoulder, my back, my neck, sometimes my knees, sometimes my arms and wrists. And there was no reasonable explanation for it. I was just living my life. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So I just found this achiness in my whole body a lot of the time. And it was excruciating. And I was exhausted from having to live with that pain. And I remember explaining it to my husband, my now husband, then my boyfriend at the time, was like, really? You're in pain all of the time? That's terrible. And he introduced me to his physiotherapist. And so I worked with a physiotherapist, and I did some other therapies, healing with this amazing craniosacral therapist, and then did a lot of personal work, emotional, psychological, unburdening of emotional pain from the past, wounding, childhood wounding. And over the years, and then also getting stronger, doing core strengthening exercises, getting stronger in my core, building my chi, my mana, my life force energy. And through all this devotion to healing, to okay, I want to feel better in my body. I want to feel more aliveness and more energy and not feel like I'm, experiencing pain all the time. So I went through this process of healing. And and I think it was 7 years ago where I was at the peak of this excruciating pain. I could walk 10 minutes. We live a block and a half to the beach. I could walk to the edge of the beach. I couldn't even walk down to the beach. I could just walk to the end of the block, look at the beach, and have to walk back because that was a 10-minute walk, and I couldn't do more than that. And so I was like, oh my goodness, I've come so far. I used to feel like this. This was my baseline, how I feel after falling off a bike, smashing onto the ground, rolling, and getting totally cut up and bruised. And Um, that was my norm. And part of me is like, wow, maybe this accident happened to show me how far I have come, and to be able to share the story of what being devoted to healing can result in. Uh, that our bodies can and do heal miraculously, with commitment and dedication and ongoing action and good support. And yeah, the willingness to heal, doing and working on all levels. Like, I didn't just work physically, I worked on the physical, the energetic, the emotional, the psychological, all levels simultaneously, or congruently, or no, there's a different word. In conjunction with, there's another word where I was doing it kind of simultaneously, but at different times, so that I was healing different levels, all different levels at the same time together, right? Because we're a whole being, and that's a part of what sacred healing is. It's acknowledging that we are this multifaceted being of body, mind, heart, and spirit, and that we need to work on all levels, heal on all levels in different ways, and that they're all connected. We are all connected, and that process of coming back into right relationship with ourselves, with all these aspects of ourselves and all these aspects with each other, which is Pono, coming back into Ho'oponopono, which is right, making right what is right, coming back into alignment with ourselves. And yeah, so the devotion to that, coming back into right relationship with myself, honoring and loving my body, honoring and loving my heart and my mind, and all these aspects of me, to continue to unburden myself and to heal, and to get to this amazing place in my life where I can hike for 3 hours. Like the week before I had the accident, or just a few days before I had the accident, I did this hike for 3 hours. I rode a bike to the hiking place, hiked for an hour and a half or so, swam, did this big swim in a lake, then hiked back and biked back. Like, that's the capacity of my vitality and the things I'm capable of doing now, versus 7 years ago, I could walk 10 minutes and it hurt. And I could do all that hike and bike and swim and come back and feel great. So that was one aspect that I wanted to share of my personal story. And then there was this other element of, when I said, I think it was last week, about what is a sacred healer. A sacred healer knows that healing is possible at any time, and also knows that healing isn't exactly what we think it is. I've been praying, like, since this accident happened, I've been praying for a miraculous healing. And, part of me was like, yeah, this miraculous healing is, I'm going to wake up and everything is going to be completely healed. I have no pain left. The skin will just miraculously have healed itself. I've been reading Autobiography of a Yogi. So I've had these ideas, this fantasies of like full healing, like totally, completely back to normal. So I've been holding that as part of the possibility of miraculous healing. But really, and that has not happened. And, I could barely walk on my ankle 2 days ago. And yeah, it's like almost back to normal. Yesterday, I woke up with my hip like excruciating. I could barely walk. And today I'm like walking more fluidly, needing less support. All these huge scrapes, like, have not hurt. There's been hardly any pain, except for the achiness in my body of, like, the impact of, I think, falling on the ground. And like I said, I've been able to maintain this incredible disposition, this attitude of like surrender and okayness and acceptance. And honestly, that is the miraculous healing. Because in the past, I I don't deal with pain well. If I'm sick or I hurt myself, I usually go into extreme upset, poor me, victim, collapsing, not like feeling sorry for myself, not wanting to like relate, and just like want to curl up and just, yeah, not be in life. And this time I've been like playing games, going swimming, uh, going out for dinner, just, yeah, having and doing these videos. Yeah, for me, that is the miraculous healing, to show up in a different way and relate differently to the experience of pain in my body, to not have it weigh me down, to not let it get in the way of enjoying life, is profound for me. So that is my personal journey of sacred healing and being in right relationship, ho'oponopono, with myself. I've been doing ongoing, like, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, to all these parts of my body that have been hurt. And um, yeah, and just uh, remembering what's important, being present to the beauty of life that is around me, the beautiful people that I'm with, my beloved, my friend, and just really being with and enjoying every moment as precious. And that is my prayer for you, my friend. May you enjoy every moment of your life as precious, and every connection, every opportunity to be with another. And may you come into right relationship with yourself in all the ways possible. Mwah.